Today is another beautiful evening. So good evening, First Ladies. Welcome to yet another episode of the Quintessential First Lady. I remain your host, Pastor Mercy Peters. On the last episode of the Quintessential First Lady, I educated our mommies, sisters, aunties out there on how to be called a quintessential first lady by being interdependent. So today I'm reviewing a question that was being asked. And here goes the question. Is it good to privately check your husband's phone? I know most women out there that are saying, why can't I check my husband's phone? But also remember, I used the word privately checking his phone. So before we get to the answer, what does the word privately mean? From my Cambridge dictionary, it means not said or done officially or publicly. From my Longman dictionary, it defines the word privately as with no one else present. That's no one is present. You just want to do it because nobody is seeing you. You are all by yourself. No one else is present when you're doing that particular thing. In my vocabulary dictionary, it defines it as something kept private or confined to those intimately concerned. So the word privately simply has to do with lack of trust, because anyone not trusted around us will simply not know anything around us. So as a quintessential woman, you are to build trust around your spouse and not build privacy and distrust around him. Same goes to women. So it's both gender. So after the short break, I will be back to tell our first ladies if it is good for you as a first lady to privately check your spouse's phone or boldly tell him what you have seen and what you don't like. So stay tuned and be blessed. Welcome back. So in life, every bachelor wants to live a private life. Every man out there, some men, they want to live a private life, especially on their phone. And this also relates with some of the married men as well. Yes, some of the married men, I don't know what they're hiding. They want to live and have a private lifestyle with their phone. So Genesis chapter 2, verse 24 to 25 in my Amplified Bible Classics makes me to understand something. It says, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and shall cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh united. Verse 25 says, and the man and his wife were both naked and were not embarrassed or ashamed in each other's presence. In each other's presence. They were both naked. So everything around them was naked. There was nothing like privacy. There was nothing like hiding something. They were not ashamed. They were not embarrassed. They had trust for each other. So as married couples, there should never be any privacy between yourselves, because you are now one body and one flesh. That is why 1 + 1 will now become what? 1 biblically. So as a man, can you hide anything from yourself when you've discovered that you and your spouse, you and your wife, you are the same? I believe the answer is totally no. So same goes to the woman. Can you hide anything from your husband? The answer too is totally no, because in marriage, you now become one flesh and one body, making it impossible for you both to hide things from each other, because it is yourself you're hiding it from. Can you hide something from yourself? Many marriages are living a life of hide and seek. They are hiding things from each other. This one will hide this and this one will seek, going through the phone, because the partners involved never trusted each other and never have one open mind. Yes, some time back, a lady once told me here, she was just confiding in me, and she said, I don't trust my husband anymore because I notice he's talking to unknown ladies on his phone. So when he enters the bathroom, I secretly check his messages on his phone and noticed he has been flirting with various women. He has been flirting with various ladies. When he saw me sneaking on his phone one day, he changed his password. He just decided to, change his password. So I decided to clone his phone. Listen to what she said. I decided to clone his phone messages to my WhatsApp messages, so that whatsoever goes through his WhatsApp messages, whatever messages he gets through his WhatsApp, I also do what? Receive them. So he said, I saw all the naked pictures he snapped to send to the lady. So I asked her, have you had a personal discussion on this with him? And she said to me, I am so afraid to ask my husband. I can't even talk to him about it. So I decide to go privately, sneak around and check on his phone. I'm going to ask you this question. So number one question, as a wife, is it right to check your husband's phone privately without his awareness? The answer is, it's never right to privately check your husband's phone. Yes. It is never right to privately, you sneak around, you try to check on what he's doing privately, because it's ringing a bell of distrust on your spouse. Secondly, it can bring issues which you never expected. So if your spouse does something in which you don't like, and you heard him speaking with an unknown lady in an intimate way, I believe you should ask him openly, dear, please, who are you speaking with? In an intimate manner. I'm even around you, I'm even sitting close to you. You're speaking to the person. Who is it that you're discussing? You understand? Who is it that you are speaking to in that manner? When I'm your wife, I am sitting here close to you. Rather than going to check on his phone privately and not bold enough to ask him. You should be bold enough to ask your husband, to ask him, please, who are you speaking to in this manner? He is your spouse. He is your husband. You have the total right to ask him. But this doesn't give the man the yardstick or the right, to disrespect his wife in this manner by, hiding things or calling women or known women when you are married in an intimate way. Please don't do it as a man, because automatically you are disrespecting yourself. If you disrespect your wife, you are disrespecting yourself, because you are one flesh with your wife in marriage. So secondly, I'm going to answer the second question, which was being also asked. It says, is it right to hide things from your spouse in marriage? Hiding things from your spouse is not ideal in marriage, because it brings conflict in marriage. It brings challenges. It brings things that you never expected in marriages. It makes your spouse to have distrust in you. You understand? So it is not good for you as a wife to hide things from your husband. It is not good for you as a man to do what? Also hide things from your spouse. You are both naked and never ashamed. So why become ashamed of each other's privacy in marriage. Please, as a quintessential woman, be open to your spouse, and your spouse should do what? Do same. Be open as well to you in marriage. Please, as a quintessential woman, I want to let you understand one thing. It is not good for you to clone your husband's messages to your phone before you start seeing what you never wanted to see. Same goes to your husband. I'm not encouraging the men to do bad. I'm not also encouraging the women to do bad. If you do anything that is evil, you're doing it to yourself. But please, don't clone each other's phone. Why do it? You might start having high blood pressure on things that you might never want to have. Praise the Lord. Because there is nothing you both should do what? Hide from each other in marriage. You are not boyfriend and girlfriend, but you're what? You're married couples. So don't clone things. You should be open to each other. There is nothing like, let me clone his phone or let me clone her phone so that I can see the things he's doing. Sometimes you might do it and you don't see anything. Please have trust. If there is any sign of distrust and you notice your husband is doing anything you don't like, please be open. Be open. You're one flesh. Tell him what you don't like. Tell him, this thing you're doing, why are you doing it? It's not good. It's better to tell him than for you to do what? Dig into his phone by cloning it to see what you might never want to see. Myself and my husband, we don't hide anything from each other. My husband does not hide anything from me. I don't hide anything because we don't have anything to hide. We are not living a private life. We are open as an empty space. He can open my phone at any point in time, and I can do same as well because we have nothing to hide. So in marriage, please have nothing to hide with your spouse so that it will not encourage this checking on the phones privately. I don't privately check on my husband's phone. You know why? We have full trust for each other, and that makes us open to each other. We don't live a private life. We are open to each other. So as a married couple, please be transparent as ever. Be transparent as ever. So trust can be super built. When you are transparent with each other, trust can be super built. But when you are not transparent, trust cannot be built. So the end point of today's episode on the Quintessential Woman is build trust with your spouse. As a woman, build trust on your husband. As a man, build trust on your wife. You know how you're going to build it? By not having a private lifestyle. What are you hiding in that phone? What are you hiding? Be open as an empty space to one another. You will notice that trust will be built. You will notice that your wife does not need to come and sneak around on your phone. You will notice that your husband does not need to come and sneak around on your phone. Everything will do what? Be whole. Avoid that private lifestyle. You know why? Because it will rob you of your happiness in marriage. It will rob you of your trust in marriage. It will rob you of your oneness of flesh in marriage. So I believe with these few points, I have been able to tell you that for you to, privately check on your spouse's phone is not right. Rather, if he does something you don't like, or if she does something you don't like, please openly do what? Tell each other. So see you same time next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. West African time, for another episode of the Quintessential First Lady. I believe you learned something from today's episode. I celebrate you all. Bye.